Ready Check Radio. What's up, Internet? Welcome once again to Snowbound, the Blizzard podcast brought to you by Ready Check Radio. It's Tuesday, it's 7 p.m. Eastern. That means it's showtime. We're gonna go do a little show. If you're watching on YouTube or listening on Spotify, head on over to ReadyCheckRadio.com, RAIDEO.com. Follow all the little socials in the upper right-hand corner. YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, all that good stuff. Notifies, subscribes, share with your friends, and make it on over here for a live show. Tuesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to get right to it. Whether it's Warcraft, Diablo, Hearthstone, they're all on the docket today. Joining me to chat about all of it, Mr. Dom Greco, a.k.a. Zista. What's up, sir? What the...
Hi. How's it going?
The greatest vault, and achieved an upgrade every single week from the Great Vault. Have you seriously?
I genuinely have. I was like, this is going to be the week. This is going to be the week. I don't get it because I'm high up eye level in almost everything. And then I got like shoulders that were 3 eye level upgrade. I'm like, are you, really? Like every single week.
Well, congrats, sir. I had a string of 2 back-to-back where I ended up having to take Stygia, but prior to that, and I haven't opened my vault today, so I guess I shouldn't, like, jinx it, but last week I got an upgrade, too. So hopefully this week will be an upgrade, maybe a weapon. I mean, dear God, that'd be nice. Everything's 213 and above. My weapon's sitting at 200.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get there someday. Also on the line, Miss Angela Mercurio. What's up, Indy?
Hello, how are you?
Looking good. Welcome back. We two-manned the show last week. You're back this week.
Man, I felt so bad, but my the COVID vaccine, the second dose, hit me a little harder than I thought.
Punched you right in the face.
Yeah, it was okay though. I mean, I'm happy it's done and over with. But that's what had me not able to come in. You guys would have seen me looking half dead, and I would have been no fun for you.
You would have been an undead priest, and not
Yes.
a belf.
Still
Not a
horde,
belf.
though.
Still horde.
Importantly, still horde.
Still
yes.
horde. Not a belf.
Yes.
All right, let's jump into the Warcraft stuff because we got some hot fixes to talk about. Of course, we got some PTR updates from what we talked about last week, Zista, when we made our predictions. But, Indy, I do want to get your take. I don't know if you went back and watched last week's show, but we had some infographics that we created for the show and everything about expansion release cycles between the expansion launch and the .1 patches and all kinds of great... Oh, God, yeah, that was one of them, too. This wasn't
the infographic you were talking about?
That was not the infographic I was talking about. No.
I
Oh,
love
okay.
it. Dude, I look awesome.
Indy still looks less than impressed with what's going on. It's just like, I don't even know why I'm here. But we wanted to get your take very briefly on what is probably, what mathematically already is the longest wait between the expansion launch and the .1 patch, and what is likely to be probably about a month and a half, 2 months still before we see it, which just makes that gap even bigger. Mm-hmm. We've kind of been concerned on shows in the past, and now we're here, and it's time to definitely be concerned about it. But where do you fit into this is absolutely outrageous, this stuff needs to be coming faster, it's okay if it's this many months late? I mean, realistically, we'd be talking next expansion, beginning trickles of details at this time, and we're still talking 9.1 instead.
I mean, so I'm not an impatient person. I can wait for these things, but right now I'm in such a rut with the content that is available. It's like we've grinded out all of the Torghast that we can possibly do. We've finished all the renown that we can possibly get. We've gotten everything that we can possibly get from non-heroic, non-mythic content. So it's like I'm at the point where I either roll an alt that's completely different from the priest, so I can do something totally different, or I feel like I'm stuck doing the same thing every day and it becomes less fun. So I'm waiting on 9.1 a little more eagerly because I don't have a million alts to play. I'm probably in the crowd that's like, come on already. Like, even if it's got some bugs to fix, let's just get it rolled out, please, soon, because I'm not playing as much as I normally would like to.
I mean, it's definitely good on that front. And if you want Zista and my opinions on this, I'd refer you back to last week's show. I don't want to rehash the whole thing here. Check last week's show. We went very, very in-depth on this topic. But that was one of the points that we did make was, you know, it sucks, but it is kind of a good time if you want to go check out some other games right now. Like if Valheim's got you, you know, got your grip on you, or Outriders is doing it for you right now, or maybe, you know, 5.5 just launched today for Final Fantasy 14. So there's plenty of stuff to do, but
where
you got to justify that sub. You got to justify that sub, and that's where I think they're going to. Yeah, you could check out the Thursday night show, 7 p.m. Eastern, Ready Check Radio. We do a little show, Relic Grind, Final Fantasy 14 Square Enix podcast. Check it out. So yeah, I just wanted to get Indy's take on it since she wasn't here. Now we do have some hot fixes issued this week. Some of them early or mid to late last week, some early this week. This one, I guess, kind of talks a little bit about the alt situation that you just mentioned, Indy, so I don't think this is going to apply too much to you. But for people that do run a bunch of alts, the reputation items that you can purchase from the Venari are now unlocked across your entire account. So if you have the highest rep on your main, all of your sockets, all of your good stuff from the Venari are now available to all of your alts automatically, with the caveat, of course, Zista, that you gotta have the Stygia to go ahead and buy it.
Yeah. I have the one character. So
yeah, your little demon
doesn't really
hunter
apply to me. Yeah.
I thought he was saying you have one Stygia.
No,
he dies a lot in the maw.
No, I have a lot because I keep buying. Well, no, I don't have that much. I think I have enough to buy like a socket and a half right now. Just because I haven't been doing the dailies. Like I used to do them every single day. I did them all the way up till like Christmas, like from the game's launch to Christmas, without missing a single day. And then I was at my father's for Christmas, so that's when I missed my first couple, and then was still doing them after that. And then it was like, all right, me and like a group of people would be on late at night, like 4 or 5 in the morning to do them. And then that turned into very slowly, people are like, well, I have other things that I'd rather be doing right now. And
yeah,
they just stopped getting on. And when other people stopped coming on, I stopped doing them because I don't enjoy doing them by myself. It's not fun.
Don't go alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever done the mob by myself ever. So
mine have not, like I still have the quest to do a hunt for the first time.
Oh my god!
That was bugged when it first came out.
Yeah,
that thing was bugged forever.
Yeah, and so I just avoided it, and I never went back. Screw them all. I'm done. I'm done. Somebody, I forget, I was probably used this, so they were like, "Oh, you could go do that now. It's hot fixed," and I was like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna go do that now just because it's hot fixed."
Like I could, but I'd rather be.
In theory, you're right. I could.
You'd rather
what
be
else?
In
Totally. Absolutely. Would rather be in Torghast. Anima rewards have been increased. Now, this, if I just left it right there, you'd probably say, that's cool. But I think we need to talk about this one a little bit, because I'm not exactly sure if Blizzard found the mark on this one. Posted by Kaivax. Since we increased anima drops a few weeks ago, we've seen a lot of feedback that obtaining anima still feels as though it becomes too difficult as you progress into the later tier of the features for your Covenant. We don't want players to feel as though spending 10,000 anima on a feature upgrade is ever the wrong thing to do. We do feel that way. The heroes of Azeroth have made a great impact in the Shadowlands. Continuously defeating the Jailer's forces should make anima more plentiful. So here's what they did. 3 new achievements have been added for upgrading all 4 of your Covenant Sanctum features to tiers 1, 2, and 3. Anima rewards now scale upward when you earn each new achievement by unlocking a tier on all 4 of the features of your Covenant Sanctum. So now, when you upgrade all your Covenant features, that's the adventure table, your transportation network, the Anima Conductor, all that stuff, to tier 1, you'll receive an achievement, and you'll see all uncommon and rare anima rewards increase by 1 anima item. This means that after you hit tier 1 on all 4 structures, a world quest that previously rewarded 4 anima items worth 35 anima each for a total of 140 will now reward 5 items for a total of 175 anima. When you upgrade all 4 Covenant features to tier 2, that same world quest now gives you 210 anima, and with tier 3, you'll then have 245 anima. So an anima increase is an anima increase, and that's a net good. But here's what I don't understand. Maybe I'm just not getting it. I consider myself an intelligent man, Indy, but I can't quite get why the anima gets easier to acquire the less you actually have to do with it, because you've finished upgrading all of these things already. So it's still a grind, but at the end of the grind's a little faster. Like, I don't quite get this.
The only way I can see this being something worthwhile is if the achievement is account-wide. And it helps you grind out anima on alts for different covenants. Like, that might be useful. But I don't see the point in this either, because you're grinding out these achievements. By the time you have all of them, you're not going to be farming anima for what? Oh, the appearances maybe. But I wear the same thing all the time, so.
Not to mention that Zista, let's set aside the fact that, okay, so it seems like you're speeding up the end of the Covenant grind. Fine. But the amount just feels so paltry.
One item.
Well, you have
One
people like
item.
me too that like I have no interest in doing the tea party, right?
Yeah,
So,
the Ember Court,
like,
yeah.
the Ember Court. So I haven't put any points in it whatsoever. So I'm not gonna get these tiers unless I go back now and put them in that. I was working on very specific things and I'm trying to get to the end of that tree, but now I'm being punished for not following like a linear path. You know,
Yes,
I
you
don't
should have
I don't
thrown
like it.
more parties.
No. Nope. Can't make me. Even
There's
this is not
there's a
this is
whole
like this is so minuscule as it is. Like the rewards here are so incredibly minuscule that is still not worth it for me. It's
look at
not.
all that anima behind you. You don't even need to worry about farming it.
Exactly.
Like, an anima
I've,
increase
like,
is an anima
all this anima.
increase. That's good. But, like, I feel like it's one of those, you kids are never grateful. It's like, here's an anima gift to the kids, and that's not good enough. You know what? We'll take it away. But, like, I feel like, we're looking at gift horse in the mouth, but yeah,
Take it away. We won't feel it.
right. Like, if you took it away, I'd just be like, whatever. It's great. Less incentive for me to not do things I'm not doing now.
I've already barely been doing my 1,000 for the week or whatever. Like if we weren't rating, that would never get finished.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very weird. That doesn't even say anything that they're still to this day right now, and we got 9-1 we're going to talk about in a second. There is no catch-up mechanic yet either for people that didn't play like when the expansion launched or anything. So yeah, this will help them, but they still have the initial grind to get all of those different things up to tier 1 first and then tier 2. There is no catch-up mechanic. So I don't know. I don't understand why it couldn't be as simple as let's increase the anima rewards on the quests themselves. Like, why does it have to be this weird, almost non-existent upgrade via achievements by doing things that you already spent the anima anyway?
It could even be just like something as simple as you unlock like 10% anima earned through every source. You know, like that would be better than what this is. You know, or something like that, and have each tier go up a little bit, so it doesn't matter where you get the anima from, that it's increased. And this like moving forward through the rest of the expansion, where maybe anima means something in the next patch, or you know, like we need it for something else. That would be more beneficial. That would give a reason to go back and do this stuff. And
yeah, Indy,
maybe,
because this, to that point, this doesn't impact the 250 world
Right.
quest. You know, this doesn't impact that. So that one's still worth 250.
Okay. Yeah, sure. I mean, honestly, I'm not farming anima anymore. I don't really plan on it. So, like
You just do your
you
Ember
said,
Court and call it a day.
I love my Ember Court. And you know what? I really would love for Zista to at least try it because it's more than just a tea party. You get to do all kinds of stuff depending on the guest.
Speaking
No.
of you kids are never fucking grateful. I want to welcome all of you to the Great Push. What a stupid name. What a stupid name.
Are they giving birth to something or
Yeah, it's
The
a Lamaze
Great
class.
Push. Okay, so this is a new event coming, a new esports event coming to World of Warcraft, separate from the Mythic Invitational, the Mythic Cup, right? This is separate from that. Anybody can participate in the Great Push. Anybody that feels like pushing it can join the Great Push.
Can't even say it with a straight face.
What a thing. Okay, so basically what this is a side mythic event where you and your group are going to push mythic keys, trying to push them as high up as many pluses as you can get. And the tournament will break down in each team that in their ranks in all the different dungeons that are run. You know, a winner is chosen, and then there'll be a final. So this is totally separate from the Mythic Cups that Indy and I like to talk about, while Zista just totally ignores us because we like
Take a
watching
nap.
them.
Yeah, he
So-
zones out.
If you like watching Mythic running, this is another version, but you're not necessarily playing for time. So to Zista's whole,
Oh.
I don't like speed running, this is not
Wait,
that. You're
you
trying to
got my
push
attention.
keys. Yeah, you're trying to push. Well, you still want to go as fast as you can so that you can push higher and higher. But the
Yeah.
goal is to actually push each dungeon to the biggest plus that you can, not beat the other team in a time trial through one dungeon. So a new event. Now, this is going to be running in May. The signups close on May 17th, and then day one will be on May 28th. You can head to the website now and go ahead and apply, you and your 4 best friends. So, great. That's cool, right? If you want to watch this, great. If you don't, that's cool. Where I think maybe they missed the boat a little bit here, again, was the prize pool.
Oh, it wasn't the name. It was the prize pool.
Oh, the name is just horrendous. The name is The Great Push. I mean, they could have just gone full wild here, India. Just The Great Pushing.
The Pushing. Hey, we could make a team called the Pushing.
Yeah.
And we could enter and we can like absolutely drag ass through all these instances because
And
that's about the best we could do.
And if we win, we get a piece of the prize pool of
Mhm.
$20,000. That's the prize pool, the total pool, prize pool. First place, $8,000. Second place, $5,000. Third place,
God.
$3,000. Oh, by the way, remember, it's you and your 4 friends on each team, so that first place prize of $8,000 gets split up amongst 5 of you, and then you pay taxes on it. So here's what I want to ask you two. They don't have to do this at all, right? And that's going to be the
No.
argument from people who think, why are you bitching about the prize pool? The argument is they don't have to do this at all. They're not making money off of this. Granted, yeah, they're going to make whatever ad revenue they happen to make from Twitch and YouTube and things like that. But as far as huge viewership pieces, this ain't it. You know, they're not going to be raking in thousands upon thousands and tens of thousands of dollars via that. Now, if they get a sponsor, I don't know. To my knowledge, they don't have a sponsor for this. So maybe if they have a sponsor, they could be raking in a little cash. So here's a nice event. Anybody can participate. You don't have to be those top tier MDI Cup runners to participate in this. And here's a little bit of scratch. Granted, a very little bit of scratch for the time investment that something like this takes. So where do you land on this, Indy? Which side of the argument on, hey, man, don't even bother if that's the prize pool, or, hey, it's nice of them to have a prize pool at all for something like this? Where do you fall?
I mean, a little bit of each. I don't think the people that are playing this are going to be in it for the money. I think that the people who would enter this kind of event are people who groups that either want to get the name out there or challenge themselves, or if a group like us happened to, it would be just for the memes. I don't know.
Oh, it would
I don't.
absolutely be the memes if it was the three of us and two more people.
I just don't think it's for the money. Because yeah, you make a good point. Split 5 ways. Even if the grand prize was 20,000, that's not much considering what you
No.
get after, you know, taxes and all that stuff. So yeah, I don't think the prize pool is even. I mean, they could have made it a little more incentivizing, but it is what it is. I'm not
And
entering.
it is
So.
kind of easy to understand that they're not going to be raking in dough over this type of event, Zista. So why put a huge prize pool on it? But at the same time, if you want a bunch of participants, a sexy prize pool helps get a lot of participants. So
Yeah.
did they find
I
the
mean,
middle ground here, or did they miss the mark a little?
they could have slapped like an entrance fee on it, like to enter, you put in $10 or whatever, per team or something like that, and then they could have had a bigger uh final prize pool or something like that. For me, Mythics just stress me out. So like even for free with the chance to win, 8,000 split, that's not gonna happen. I'm not realistically in that position to be doing that. Not when
Well,
I see
shit. Indy, now
myself
we have to find
struggling.
3, not 2. We got to find 3.
Not when I see myself struggling to get tens done, and then I'm
Well, that would
I'm
be the
looking.
funny part.
Well, and then I'm
Right.
looking in the looking for group window, and I see people advertising 20s and 22s. I think I saw a 23 or 26 this week, and I'm like, are you kidding me? Like
Yeah, it's
when I see
hardcore.
that, I'm like, no, at that point, I'm like, I don't even stand a chance. It's not worth it for me. Not for all the stress that these things give me.
Well, and that's kind of the counter argument that it is when you start pushing these things competitively, you are talking about not just a time investment in the tournament itself, but you're
Hmm.
talking about a time investment outside of the tournament to get ready for the tournament, to get your group to practice, to do some runs, because all the dungeons are in play here, right? It's
Hmm.
Mhm.
not just get luck of the draw and push one really, really fast and to plus 22 and beat your opponent. You've got to have proficiency across the board with all of the dungeons to be able to compete when it gets to like the final cuts here. So there is a lot of time investment here to walk away with what 1,600 before taxes
Yeah.
for each of the winning 5. For the love of the game, I guess is the name of this one.
Well,
You
And
better
guys,
like,
love the pushing if you want the great push.
we got till the 17th of May
It's plenty
to
of
sign up.
time. It's plenty of
yeah,
time.
Okay, so we
but
can
like,
convince
what would
him.
be more interesting to me is take all the mythic pluses, take all of them out of there, throw them all out the window, and do the new one. Right? Do the new mega
Oh,
dungeon
the
coming
mega
up.
dungeon.
Put the mythic plus. You know how they split it every time they split
Yeah.
it to two, and then they attach keystones like one patch or a half patch later. Do that, so no one has any time to prepare anything, and everybody's going in blind, and you're all on the same page. Like
Oh god, that
that
would be
would be fun to
chaos.
me. Yeah,
So you
that would
can't
be
like
more fun.
plan your.
I would be
You can't.
interested in watching and maybe even participating in that. This I have no interest in
Well,
whatsoever.
yeah, because they're all gonna have their skip strategies
Yeah.
and like
Yeah. Well, and that's another thing I saw on the forums. What do you guys think about this? I've seen the argument of please stop pushing this multifaceted PvE esports stuff. Please
Mhm.
stop because it's ruining that type of content for your average typical player, your us's.
Yeah.
When you are pushing and tuning and making changes to PvE content to cater towards that type of presentational aspect, whether it be the MDI itself, whether it be the great push, or some other esports competition that they want to make it. I've seen that argument in the forums too. The one
Yeah.
you could look at, the AOE capping as
Mhm.
a byproduct of, although Cleave had stuff to do with that too.
Well, even that
Um,
strategy that was in what Miss Eterna Scythe, where you had the mind control of the mob, and like it knocked out the health of the boss, the first boss there, like that. that was a viable strat up until like they showed it off during one of those runs. Now, if you had known about that, going through and like that was a strategy you used in your little groups or whatever, just to make things a little easier for you to hit the time on, like that's gone now. You can't do that anymore. So it's like you knew that stuff was going away. Like as soon as they do something in one of those runs that totally breaks the instance or whatever, but for them they're using it for like crazy purposes, whereas like the more casual players just using it for a little edge on the boss, and it takes some of the fun out of it.
I like where this is headed. I don't mind these types of competitions. I'm not one of the ones sitting there saying that this type of stuff ruins it for the casuals. I think there's an interesting debate and argument to be had there. I'm not dismissive of that point, but I'm not in that camp yet. I do think they miss with the prize pool. Yeah, I think this should have been a little. I'm not saying this should have been like $100,000 competition or anything, but I think they could have. They could have upped it a little more. I mean, your CEO, right? I mean, he got 40 what million?
Oh,
or 42 or 44 million in that bonus. Have him chuck in, have him double it. Make it 40 grand.
Right.
He wouldn't even, there'd be like quarters falling out of my pocket to him. Burning Crusade beta testing is now at full level 70 on the classic PTR. And Zista, we got the date right. Wasn't all that hard to predict. They said a couple of weeks. We just assigned a Tuesday, 4/13. 9.1 hit the PTR today with raid testing of 2 bosses going live on the 16th. Now, taking a look at the patch notes, they are available. Obviously, these are going to change dramatically as we go. There are all kinds of class changes, but on the content side, there's 40 new renown levels, new Covenant campaign chapters for you, Indy, so we'll find out if we get to walk around with Sunstrider anymore.
Oh, I hope we do.
The Sanctum of Domination raid will be added. 2 of those bosses will be starting testing on April 16th. There's a bunch of PvP changes as well. And the Imperial Ordnance trinket now puts other on-use trinkets on a 40-second cooldown when used. It was a 20-second cooldown, so any of you using that should make a note that your other trinkets cooldown just got longer on that one. So we are here. We're starting the raid testing, but this does not change. Nothing in the patch notes changes my expectation that this is probably a mid-July release window for 9.1. Zista, do you feel any better about this?
No. I mean, I don't feel worse. I don't feel better. It's just like I said, it's kind of a little bit of a welcome break for me to go and do other things because I'm overwhelmed with the battle passes right now and all these other games that I play. So, I will I will welcome spend a little more time playing Hearthstone, a little more time in Overwatch, which we have the second week of the event starting today. So like I'm probably going to be doing that right after this podcast. Start working on that a little bit. And it's just like I have some other games I got to get through. Fall Guys, like I have a lot of stuff I want to get done. So it's like this is that nice relaxing time where I could just ease into them and not worry about spending all my time in WoW, grinding out reps and whatnot.
Relax with your mystery heroes.
Yes.
Indy, check this out. Check this out.
Yeah.
Check this out. I got naked mage action for you. We're gonna put that B-roll up there. I got some naked mage action for you.
Oh, I see.
Check this out. Ilya Pavlenko took the naked mage into Twisted Corridors, floor 18, layer 8, beat the final boss solo. Well, I mean, I guess not solo, because like he does spawn a bunch of other naked dudes.
Yeah, but whoa. I didn't see this.
Yeah, check this out. Solos,
Oh.
layer 18, floor 18, sorry, on layer 8. Solos
That's amazing.
as a naked mage. Strip down his clothes, Just
That's a
obviously tons
flex.
of different actions and stuff going on here. The damage numbers are absurd. But you got to make it there, and to get all of those anima powers on the way.
Yeah.
It's pretty
That
badass.
is
It's
insane.
definitely file it under the. Yeah, I'm sure you could, but should you? Like we talked about a
See-
duo taking down a Nixia. Here's a naked mage taking down the final boss. Indy, what you think?
This is something I would have done on my mage in Classic. Actually, we did. A friend of mine and myself cleared BRD with 2 level 60 mages, which back in the day it was like kind of unheard of to clear all of BRD with no tank, no healer. 2 characters.
Yes, but
2
were you
squishies.
naked?
We were not naked, but we were cloth armor, so
So you might as well have been naked back in that day.
It's no different than me being on a max level rogue through vanilla, BC, and Cataclysm, and dueling people naked with I forget the name of it wasn't the daggers, the worn daggers. It was 2 swords, because I was a combat rogue. 2 swords that you could get off Razor Hill, like level 1 swords or whatever. Dueling that naked and winning every duel that I fought as a naked rogue. Like
naked mage. Naked mage.
I see the appeal of it.
Don't make him get his mane. Last note here, your weekly event this week, arena skirmishes, and of course you have the PvP rotating item, Packed House this time. So this week you can do some 15v15 PvP if you like. Let's head over and talk about some other Blizzard stuff here because, oh, by the way, we should mention, since you brought up Burning Crusade, not only is level 70 open, but Karazhan testing is about to start there too. And that just, when I saw that blue post, I was like, oh, my heart skipped a beat. My heart skipped a beat. I was like, oh, Kara.
You're gonna go test it out?
No, I'm not. No.
I wish
if I go, I'm not gonna go test Classic. I'm just either gonna play Classic or not. I'm not gonna play Classic, then start it over when it launched. No. I still haven't decided if I'm gonna play Classic BC or not.
Oh, it's gonna be amazing.
I don't know. Like, there's a part of me that wants to, but there's another part of me that's like, you don't have that kind of time anymore.
I just can't wait for those talent trees.
Unless you're going to stop playing Shadowlands or stop playing Final Fantasy 14, you don't have that time, Mike. Come on.
I mean, your Saturdays are free now.
No, they're not. That's usually when I'm playing Final Fantasy TCG in the afternoons.
Mm-hmm. Well, your Saturday evenings
anyway, yeah, my Saturday evenings are free after Gaming Gumbo. After Gaming Gumbo.
He's got himself spread really thin.
Yeah, well, I got to make the great push. That
is a great push.
It is a great push. Speaking of alphas or betas, Diablo 2's technical alpha ran between the last show and this one. Zista, did you end up getting in? I knew you were hopeful you would get in.
Be honest, I didn't even check.
Well, I mean, it doesn't matter now.
You're like, I know you're very excited.
It doesn't matter now. Last show, he was like, I'm pretty sure I can get into this. I can't wait.
I know.
It's over now.
Says, hey,
it's
still
over.
Waiting for the mobile.
Credit to IGN, by the way, for the B-roll here showing some of the graphical differences between the original Diablo 2 and those same environments in the Diablo 2 remastering. If you didn't know, there's a feature we're going to talk about here that actually lets you in-game swap back and forth like this if you want to, so you can see the original.
Ask about
yeah, it's pretty badass. But so I'm going to assume, Zista, you did not play since you didn't even know if you got in. Indy, were you in? I was not.
No, I never get. Honestly, I have crap luck with getting invites to beta or
so
alpha.
Do I. When it comes to Blizz,
matter.
Yeah. When it comes to Blizz.
This is one I definitely want to try. And I was watching YouTube videos of other people playing it. And I thought they were editing in the old gameplay. But now that you're telling me you can do that, that's a really interesting feature for somebody like me who would want to see it compared, because I didn't play it back then.
You weren't all that invested in the Diablo franchise back then. Yeah, no, it is very interesting to see. The reviews overall whether you look at Polygon, whether you look at IGN or Ars Technica or on Wowhead, like everybody's Zista is very, very positive and all saying like the same things. Like the Voracious has done an amazing job with this. It looks great. It sounds great. It plays well as far as playing, but you do have to keep in mind that it is so dedicated to being just a remaster of the original and not a remake that you might not like some of the gameplay mechanics because they are still the ones from 20 plus years ago. And we got cat cam on. Yeah.
Are you allowed to take a bath on Twitch?
That cat is. But generally, pretty positive across the board, Zista.
Yeah. I noticed that like they haven't changed any of the audio at all. Like all the music, all the sound files, all that stuff is still the same. Because I did get to watch some of it. One of the fighter like fighter game players, Maximilian dude, on Twitch. I watched him. He was actually playing it, and yeah, he was doing the quick swapping. And one of the things I was like the soundtrack, which was always my favorite part of Diablo 2, is untouched. They didn't go back and like re-record it or try to remaster it. It's like it's the same soundtrack and it still holds up, and I love that. Like that to me is the most important part because I love music. But
yeah, a lot of sites saying things like when they played this, you got an idea of just how far ahead of its time Diablo 2 was. The fact that the original Diablo 2, that just some of the way the game plays, the way it looks, the way it sounds, that they were still able to use that today with just slight modifications to it, just really spoke to how far ahead of its time Diablo 2 was. That doesn't mean, though, Indy, that you're going to have to deal with all the annoyances we had to deal with back in the day. There are some quality of life improvements that are departures from the original. Like your starting inventory is now a 10 by 10 grid. In the original, it used to be a 6 by 8. So essentially, you have a bigger inventory space to start out with.
Right.
Thank God. That'll make things easier. But perhaps on that front, the biggest improvement is the cross-stash sharing. So when you have multiple characters now, you can swap equipment from one character and give it to another character. That's a game changer in my mind because that makes all loot viable, right?
Yeah.
If you're playing on one class and you're just gathering loot for that class, everything else is garbage. But if you play 2 or 3 classes, 2 or 3 characters, all of a sudden, it doesn't matter what character you're on, a lot more of the loot pie has meaning to you at that point because you can push those items to other characters that you have. So there are going to be some quality of life changes as we go here.
Me, I would have preferred Diablo 1, but I understand why. I totally understand why they didn't do it because Diablo 2 is way more popular. I'm hoping maybe this will open the door for a Diablo 1 remaster down the road. Maybe not do this side-by-side swap because like you go back and look at the graphics for Diablo 1 and yikes, they don't hold up. They don't hold up at all. But I know there was a lot of content that they had to cut for time and stuff. Like there was an entire priest in Tristram that like his entire quest line was cut. Yeah, like he had some thing with a demon blade, all this stuff that was data mined out of files from years and years ago that some modding communities have tried to bring back and put back into the game. I would like to see Blizzard actually restore some of these old quests and stuff like that for Diablo 1, and this would be a good time to do it. This would probably be the only way to do it. But then you have to ask yourself, would they actually include the Hellfire expansion, which was not something that Blizzard did? That was the company Sierra that actually did that.
Would you feel more pushed towards Diablo 1 if they did that?
Yeah, absolutely. I'd play it in a heartbeat.
I mean, that would be a great way to push you to that.
Mm-hmm.
It's gonna be a long show if we keep this up. Oh, by the way,
not much show left.
Auto loot.
You guys are pushing it.
Auto loot.
You're pushing it.
Auto loot. Thank you. Mercifully. Mercifully. Thank you. Auto loot. It's there. It's in the game. Oh, there was something I wanted to ask you. I'm also seeing a lot of the game actually plays better with a controller feedback. Because apparently one of the key features is it's not just a hook up your controller and there you go. It is very much like if you've played Magic Legends at all, how going from keyboard to mouse to a controller literally changes your entire UI. That happens here in the Diablo 2 remaster, in that it's a totally different UI, and that you are able to map 6 abilities and then another 6 that are just toggled by like L1 or R1 to get to that second panel of 6. So a lot of feedback. I mean, maybe it's not going to be everybody's cup of tea, but a lot of feedback saying that it actually plays better with the controller than a mouse or keyboard because of the way that UI works and the ability to essentially map 12 items rather than 6. I could see myself dabbling with a controller here. I don't mind playing ARPGs that have a good controller scheme, so I will definitely give this one a whirl. Diablo 3 works fine. I don't prefer controller there, though. I've played it on the PlayStation and the Xbox. It works fine, but I still prefer the mouse and keyboard when I'm playing D3. So I think I'm probably going to prefer the mouse and keyboard here. But what about you two? I'll give the controller a whirl. I'm not opposed to it, but I think I'll end up being mouse and keyboard. What about you, Indy?
I don't use a controller unless I absolutely have to. Like Sea of Thieves, I have obviously you have the option to use either or. I'm not using a controller unless it forces me. My hands just don't like the cramped feeling. I like being, sprawled out a bit, having my space, and also muscle memory. If you have gone from playing keyboard and mouse for so long and you pick up a game that forces you to use the controller, it kind of sucks because the dexterity's not there anymore, at least for me. I'm not a huge console person.
You're
right
not
now.
even going to try a controller on D2? That's just totally not for you. You're going to keyboard mouse it when it comes out?
I will not be pushing those buttons.
Go ahead, Zista. What about you?
There's very few games where I feel like I need a controller over a mouse and keyboard. Like Fall Guys is probably the only one that I can think of right now where it's like I need, maybe like Mario, like if it's a platform or something like that. But like for something like Diablo 2, I played the original on mouse and keyboard. Like that, I feel like that's the only way to play it.
All right, so I'm apparently the only one that's going to give it a whirl. So watch when I stream it if you're curious about how the controller functions.
I mean, unless you're on your phone, then you can use your finger, play Diablo Immortal like that.
Yeah,
that might work.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. But yeah, hey, good on them. Technical alpha went well. Lots and lots of good feedback. Everything I saw got me closer and closer to a day one purchase. I refuse to pre-order anything off of Activision Blizzard right now. I will day one purchase what I'm interested in, but Warcraft 3 Remake totally had me just backing way up off of this one until I started to see gameplay and hear people talking about it. And now I'm a little closer to a day one purchase than I was a week ago. What else? Oh, Hearthstone. Yeah, Hearthstone's got some big changes going in. We've got a bunch of balance stuff, but before we get to that, we do want to point out that this past week we had the Hearthstone Grandmasters. The Grandmasters tournament. But prior to that event, Paul Zele Nemeth was suspended from all competition by Blizzard. Now, Blizzard really didn't comment on why. They just said Hearthstone Esports is aware of allegations made against America's Grandmaster Paul Zele Nemeth. Upon further review, we have suspended Zele from competing in all Hearthstone Esports events. And they said that will last for 1 year. But that was it. Now, it's most likely believed, the rumor, the allegation, is that claims earlier this year by Mythgard community manager and streamer Rini that he was physically and emotionally abusive during the time they lived together. those allegations probably had something to do with this, but they were back in January, and Blizzard really didn't do anything or say anything until like a day or two before the start of the 2021 Grandmasters. And they said, hey, we don't discuss this kind of stuff. So yeah, again, just a weird situation of like, ultimately, I think Blizzard makes the right call, but as we've seen so many times in the past, Indy, it's late. Like this happened in. Go ahead.
Late and a year. Like, what's the deal with the year? Like, somebody who is abusive to another human being is going to just change. If I'm well versed in the whole domestic abuse thing, so I don't think people just automatically change. So I don't see it, it's either a suspension or it's not. If you're slapping somebody on the wrist for a year, it's kind of just saying, it's like placating the victim almost. You know what I mean?
Right. But I think in this situation, it's like it's only allegations, right? There's no physical proof of it, and until that time, I think this is the right call.
Often there's not proof though with domestic situations.
No, you're right. You're right. It's hard to prove. It's something very hard to prove. And I think this is the best solution
too
right
often
now.
It devolves into a he said, she said, or he said, he said, she said.
Exactly.
She said. Pick your pronouns. So, you get my point.
Yeah. So like the 1 year, I think that like they can always change that. They can always be like, no, this is indefinite. Like, you know, but just right now, this is the best solution.
Right. So, and I would agree there. I would push back a little bit on, and they again, Blizzard didn't publicly say that these allegations were the reasons for this or factors in it in any way. We don't know. That is just some assumptions being made that, well, this is really the only thing we publicly can think of. If it is, though, these allegations are now 3 months old, and he gets the suspension a day before the Grandmasters starts. If, and this is if, Blizzard's rationale were these allegations, why wait 3 months? I mean, I can understand maybe waiting a week or two to see how the initial investigation, if there is any, or the initial data collection pans out. Like, you don't want to make a snap decision because somebody posted something on TwitLonger until you've had a chance to look into things a little bit. But 3 months later, that seems a bit long for me, Indy. Like, if you're going to do something, do it a few weeks after you've collected some facts on your own and go ahead and pull the trigger.
Yeah, that's like a major delayed response. It does make you wonder, maybe did something else come up that people don't know about yet? Who knows? It could be anything.
Ultimately,
especially
I think
1 day before, it's like you spent all this time prepping and everything to get ready for this, and you've put all this time and effort into like getting the best decks, knowing like you're up to date on the meta, like taking strategies to counter metas that haven't even happened yet, and then like the rug gets ripped out onto you 1 day before it starts. Like that's kind of rough.
Yeah, I see the point there, but I don't have any compassion for you, right?
Yeah.
If the allegations are true, you did this to yourself.
100%. Like,
my only problem is if they find out about them a week before the Grandmasters and they put the ban in a day or two before the Grandmasters, I don't really care that it happened a day before the Grandmasters. If the allegations in January are what got him booted the day before the Grandmasters, that seems very odd. Like, why wait on it? But
that's what I mean. Like, if this is stuff from January, why are they like all this prep work he put in? But still, like, he shouldn't be in if that is the case. Like, this should have been something that was told way in advance. You know?
Yep. Indy, lots of love and Blizzard making the right call coming from victims of abuse online, particularly females that have been the victim of abuse. Lots of support for the decision, but to be fair, those same people raising the same questions we're raising here. What happened? Why did it take so long? Why were you silent? It's tweets like timeline of Zaylee drama. Blizz included him in the GM circuit. Absolutely fine with his allegation. I pressured them for comment on Wednesday, April 7th, saying I have sources that will go on the record. April 8th, Zaylee is suspended.
Do you mean the people were criticizing the delay in Blizzard's response or the delay
Correct.
in
Correct.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Blizzard's
Because
response.
as far as like somebody coming out with the truth of their truth of like having lived with somebody that
Oh,
was
yeah. No.
abusive.
God, no. I wasn't touching that at all. I was talking
Yeah.
about Blizzard's delayed response, not the delay in response in reporting or public acknowledgement or no.
Yeah, I mean,
Apologies if I portrayed it that way or if it could be confused that way. To be clear, you come forward with those allegations on your time, not
yeah,
anybody else's.
oftentimes it doesn't come out until well after somebody's out of the
Yeah.
situation because they are so like suppressed in living in that kind of situation. So I mean the only the only thing I question is if this is in fact the reason for the suspension, why wait 3 months? Why not do it as soon as you've made your decision that you're going to take action?
Yep.
Unless something else, like this is where I question, did something else come up that we don't know about yet? Who knows? I wish they would say why, but as we all know, when
that
bans
opens
happen,
that opens up a very slippery slope.
true.
Rini did take to Twitter as well, saying, completely floored, but I feel so heard. Rini, of course, the one bringing the allegations back in January. Thank you to everyone for pushing for a response and for believing it in me. I am lost for words, truly. So we will keep an eye on the situation as it unfolds. But more to direct Hearthstone the game news, we have a huge balance change patch going in. Right, I think it went in today, actually, didn't it?
Yeah, today
Was
is
it today?
first day live.
Tons of tuning across the board, including some action that basically nerfs two of the most meta decks at the moment, getting the nerf bat Zista. What's going down?
For me, the Farwatch posts, like the watch posts are the ones that those are in my current deck that I use to get my 5 wins to get my card back for the month. I like those, but yeah, they're
Not anymore.
no, they're getting a lot of stuff here was a lot of just like mana cost changes. Like I know the one of the ones was the deck of lunacy for the mages got like 2 extra mana. Like that's huge, doubling it instead of using it on turn 2, you have to wait till turn 4. Um, Stuff like that. But most of it is just like health or mana changes by a little bit. And the pen flinger is the one that I ran across this like 4 or 5 times trying to get in, and it crushes you. The pen flinger is a card that on battle cry deals 1 damage. Spell burst, which is the first time you cast any spell, goes into your hand. So the whole trick of it is you put the 2 pen flingers in your deck, right? And then you play them to deal the 1 damage. Then you play like a 1 mana spell, and then you throw them out again, and then another 1 mana spell, and you're just dealing incredible amounts of damage,
over and over.
Yeah, so this one, they actually changed it now where it only deals damage to minions as opposed to the hero itself. So
it's still have the
that
same
will
spell
probably,
burst, though. It still bounces to the hand. It was just the battle cry that changed.
Yep. So like that one is huge, and I definitely saw the need for it because I'm sitting there going, why am I still playing Demon Hunter? Like I need to be playing Spellflinger, or Penflinger. Like, oh, it's insane.
We do have the Crossroads bundle and Ser Anoyo hero skin and the Goblins card back in the game shop. So, of course, yeah, I mean, you could go and buy them. $10, 1,500 gold if you want to do it that way. They were only available previously in a $25 bundle with 20 packs, and that was back in 2018. So now you can get them a little bit cheaper if you want to pay the cash, or of course the 1,500 gold. But all in all, a very, very big week for for Hearthstone. They had the Grand Masters. Congratulations to our winners there, and then all the decks got fucking nerfed. Basically what happened. Not a lot of Overwatch. If you want some Overwatch stuff, we talked quite a bit about Overwatch, Zista and I, last week, but I did want to show you two a little something funny on the Overwatch side of things. It looks like we got a reference to Overwatch in somebody's ACT reference book.
Oh.
This coming from Marshall1313 on Reddit. It's an ACT prep book. Zarya is making particle beam cannons. She needs 2 liters of hydrogen gas, 3 neodymium magnets, and 2 glass photon emitters to create a single particle beam cannon. In her laboratory, Zarya has 11 liters of hydrogen, 20 magnets, 10 glass photon emitters. How many particle beam cannons can Zarya make? Gotta
Some of
love
the comments, I
it when you
was scrolling through this earlier. Some of the comments were absolutely great. Somebody's like, he just put this in there because they wanted him to do Reddit to do his math homework for him.
I do like Zarya didn't study her limiting reagents. Zarya didn't have enough particle beam cannons to kill Reinhardt. Zarya died. Don't be like Zarya.
Yeah. There's even one and I can't find it now. Yeah, there's one I can't find it now. I saw it earlier and I was like, oh, I'll highlight it, and I closed the window by accident. But it's something along the line of just wait until Sigma's put in there, and like Sigma's all like crazy mathematician stuff, and it was something about the formula, and they used a couple of the quotes from Sigma in there. I was actually laughing really hard at that one. But yeah, they're in there if you want to scour through them somewhere. I can't find them now, but
no clue, but I can tell you that she benches more than you. There are some great comments in here. Thanks, by the way, to Jason Winter, who threw that in our RCR chat, basically right before the show went live. So, thanks.
I see it right now. It says, wait till you get to Sigma's physics question. Hint, the equation is correct. The problem must lie elsewhere. This is one of his quotes. And somebody commented under that and goes, the answer, it's just so simple, which is another one of his quotes. So, yeah.
All right, let's slide over and do lore or lies. This is the segment, this part of the show. We're going to give you 3 statements given by our resident lore master, Lil Missy. You can follow her on Twitter right there at the bottom of the screen. Lil Missy, LILMISSY 4205 on Twitter. We thank her and all the other volunteers behind the scenes, but Lorekeeper Missy makes sure that we get 3 statements for you, one of which has a lie in it somewhere. It could be a little lie or a big lie. We're each going to read one, and in the comments below on ReadyCheckRadio.com or on YouTube, you tell us which one has the lie and what the lie is. Now, a little reminder, our Lorekeeper is not going to discuss spoilers on the upcoming 9.1 patch. Data mining is, of course, already happening now that's on the PTR. But this segment here, we're going to keep it spoiler-free, okay? But she can't wait to experience it when her classes start again. I did not expect such a long wait. Summer break wasted. Yeah, neither did we. Check out last week's show for the full thoughts, and you got indies at the top of today's show. Last week, the last statement, so the second one I said, was a lie. A complete lie, by the way. Players do not fight against Vashj. Missy thinks that would have been a cool scenario, but no. Instead, the Mawwalker helps Baroness Vashj capture Mephiles the Loyal for questioning. So yeah, we run into Baroness Vashj, but we do not fight her. We do not fight her. Here are your statements for this week. Mephiles sings like a canary as Baroness Vashj interrogates him, and he's willing to help betray the Lish Morbihan to draw him out.
The House of Rituals is planning, well, a ritual. One that would grant more power because of the new Baron, and Baroness Vashj sees it as the perfect opportunity for a trap.
The trap is successful. The Rune of Guile enters the Rune Blade of the Primus. With Vashj's task complete and seeing the Rune Blade herself, she's willing to aid Draka at the seat of the Primus.
Following along the 9.0 storyline, you see where we're at. One of those statements isn't quite right. Tell us which one and why in the comments below. We'll be back, of course, next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern for another episode of Snowbound. But if you're hanging out in chat, make sure you hang tight, because right after this show, we're going to go live with streamer extraordinaire, Mr. Jason Winter. How are you, sir?
Well, thank you. I should hire you as my agent.
Yes, absolutely. What are we playing today, my friend?
Extraordinaire. I got to put that in my my Twitter handle after like.
I think you're running out of
whatever.
characters on your Twitter handle.
Yeah, I know. Everyone's suggesting so many things. I'm continuing on with Nier Automata.
Are you are you playing on Steam?
Yeah, I'm playing via Steam.
So that kind of got review bombed this past week on Steam. What's going on there?
Well, some people are having issues with just like getting it to boot up and not crashing on them. I have issues with both the resolution, which I have to do some funky magic to make it work for my stream, and also cutscenes. The frame rate is kind of crappy, so not the first time Square Enix
they are patching this. We just don't know when, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so theoretically they're working on something. Because they just didn't want a Microsoft Store.
Besides that, are you enjoying the game still?
Yeah, I'm still liking it. Still fun.
You played the amusement park and fought that boss. That's one of my favorite segments. You're coming up on another one of my favorite segments, so I love.
How do you know? How do you know how much I played over the past week?
I guess you're right. I don't know how much you've played since your stream last week. I guess that is fair. That is.
You'll have to tune in to find out.
Did you play it all?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
Stay tuned. After the show, we'll go dark for about 20 or 30 seconds here and then relabel everything for Jason to come up, and you can watch him stream. Until next week, though, Indy, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me where I always am, at Indy Garona. It is the same on all the socials, right down there somewhere. I don't know where it is today. Twitch, Twitter.
She says today like I changed them.
Well, I don't know. You could pull a fast one on us.
It's always to your right. You're right. Yeah, you're right and down. There you go. Yep.
Find me
Zista.
Is it also on my right and down?
It's
like down
to
down
your
there?
right, down. Yeah.
Down there. Yeah.
No, your finger's too low though. You're actually
right near your mic.
behind the lower third. There you
Right
go.
in front of your mic.
Down there.
No, now your hand's gone.
You can find me on Twitter at it's just XIZTA or Twitch at just XIZTA.
Oh God, I hate you. I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me at MagicMan1, but more importantly, follow at RC Raideo, RAIDEO, so that we can tweet at you every time we're going live with one of our volunteer streamers whom we thank, or any one of our 3 weekly shows. Until next time, stay safe. We'll see you on the server.